Hello viewers, welcome again to Discovering Truth, and I am Pastor Forbes from the Gateway, Abiding Word Ministries here in the Gambia. Let me start by saying congratulations to everybody in Abiding Word for a successful Destiny 2024 convention. We are now in our 37th year. Let me say thank you to Gambia. Thank you to everybody for the support. Thank you for attending. Thank you for all the well wishes. We're grateful to God. We have started our 37th church year. We are 3 short years away from 40 and 13 short years away from 50. And we are grateful to God for everything that He did. And especially as we are discussing now the theme ministry, how we are going to be of blessing to one another and our beloved country. So thank you so much. Thank you everybody for everything. We are back at work. All right. So we are now in part 2 of this series I just called This and That. So we are just talking we are just talking the things that we have to talk about. And we started part 1. I talked about the importance of honoring people and not labeling them and calling them JC, JJC, or like now we say Nyak. Everybody is Nyak. A Gambian that comes home and is trying to do things, say, Kanyafi, when did this one come? And some people are able to fight it, but it breaks the spirit of people. It traumatizes them. And as I said maybe 3 episodes ago about how in my university the students were angry and they burnt a building, forgetting that all their files were in that building. Sometimes the people you mischaracterize may be the people that need to help you, that are able to help you to the next level. So let's downplay that, and I pray that it just disappears and we treat, yes, we can cough, we can joke, we have what we call cowl here between the tribes, but we are at such a very palpably sensitive time in our nation that we should just be more loving, kinder, and more helpful and welcoming. So the Nyak thing, let's try and put it aside. The second thing I talked about, I asked ourselves last week that what would you say about a father or a mother who just keeps eating, as we say in African English, chopping their children's school fees, chopping their children's university fees, chopping the money to build a house? You'll call them reckless, you'll call them heartless, mindless, just unbelievably greedy. And we need to watch out for that, because there are signs we don't like. Anytime there is a place where accountability is not being seen, then there is free for all, free flow, and trust me, from the Bible and from life, things end up in their own logical conclusion, whether we like it or not. And if a patient is bleeding, hemorrhaging, if a water tank that is 4 meters high has some holes, and they're leaking and the holes are not plugged in, after some time there'll be no water, because the water would have been wasted. That is what happens when we are incalculably greedy, corrupt, and we do things that are not good. And no matter how people want to help us with external help, if we do not have the help for ourselves, it won't work out. In Wolof, as you all know, we say, you got to do something and then the help comes your way. And that fear of God, that love for God, love for country, love of country must also be in us. We must think 3rd generation, 4th generation, so that we can do it. Another thing that I want to talk about in this and that is speaking the truth. He said, Pastor Forbes, are you serious? Yes. Speaking the truth. What is so difficult in speaking the truth? Truth liberates. It was Jesus Christ who said, and you will know the truth, and the truth will make you free. Not set you free, but make you free. That phrase comes from Him. And we have it as a banner when we had our Truth and Reconciliation Commission, and it helped for those who spoke the truth. And for those who lied, we could all see that they lied. No matter how smart and silver-tongued, smooth they were, we could all tell they were lying. Because you see, for the size of our country, it was very difficult to hide all the things that happen. People have consciences. Sometimes they want to make peace with their consciences, and they speak. Some speak at their deathbed. Some speak before they travel out of the country. They feel evil is going to follow them. Even as a pastor, I have had people come and do that to me. And sometimes you shake your head at, okay, is this wasn't serious? And they come and tell you that they did this. They were part of this clique. They were part of this clique. They did that. They used to do that to undermine you. I remember somebody once told me that, oh, I was one of the people that stole 50 chairs from your church. I was like, wow. Conscience is powerful. So it's good to speak truth, because you see, when you speak truth, you don't have to hide to figure out what you said and did not say so you can make it match with what you said because you lied. Let's speak truth. Let's speak truth. Let's speak truth. Sometimes it's just better to say, I don't know. I can research, I can find out. But this sycophantic airbrushing, lying that seems to go on, it's not helping us. Now, maybe if we were just our generation by ourselves, fine. But the children are watching us. Second and third generation are watching us. And if we have children, if we continue this way, we get into a time when children will be born in our country, and as they're growing, they won't even know what truth is. Because everything that surrounds them is lies. Everything that surrounds them is hatred. Everything that they see is greed. Every conversation that they hear is how to undermine, how to marabou, how to chat, how to social, and people grow up like that. And when they encounter truth, it looks very strange to them. Let's watch out. Let's watch out. Let's speak truth. Yes, sometimes there's political posturing and there's all those things. But let's just speak truth. Because I have to live with my conscience. You have to live with your conscience. So let's learn to speak truth. You cannot, you cannot. You can, you can. You do not have, you do not have. Let it not become normal that we cheat each other because we lie. We cheat each other, we play each other, we undermine each other. It's almost like somebody tells you, I want to buy this ring. And while they are telling you, they know they don't have the money, they have no plans paying, and yet they tell you they are going to do it. Let's avoid that. Because it becomes second nature. As I said, children will grow up in this country not knowing what truth is. They can't even speak truth. They can't say what is right. Because everything they see around them is is deal, is lying. And that's why I get worried when sometimes, you call people, they're supposed to do something, they tell you, mighty on me, I'm on my way. I've discovered that sometimes I'm on my way in the Gambia means the person is on their bed still. They've not even showered, but they tell you I'm on their way. You will see me in 5 minutes. 45 minutes later, you can't find them. Oh, I'm at Westfield. Many times I see that I can be at the church. I say, so I'm at traffic light. So traffic light to our church is 3.5 minutes. 1 hour later, the person says, I'm nearby. I'm now near GRA. Let us learn to speak the truth. Let us decide. The little things. There is another book in the Bible called the Songs of Solomon. And I think it's chapter 2 and verse 15. I'm not too sure. Either 2:5 or 2:15. Songs of Solomon, Songs of Solomon. Sometimes it's called Songs of Songs. Chapter 2, I think it's verse 15. This is how it goes. Catch us the little foxes, because the little foxes have spoiled the vine. Not the elephants, not the hippopotamuses, the little foxes. What in English they call the little white lice. At every level, business particularly, government, at every level, even religion, education, health. Let us speak the economy. Let us speak the truth. Because it frees us. I would hate to be going to bed each night, and while I'm sleeping, my brain is calculating, how am I going to swindle somebody tomorrow? What am I going to tell them? How am I going to fix this paper? How am I going to do that? No. And that is why in life, sometimes you find that people make decisions between somebody who might be brash, but says it as it is, and somebody who is all cosmetized and airbrushed, but you never get to know them. So you have this phrase, what you see is what you get. When you see him, what you see is what you get. He has no heirs. He has no three lives. She doesn't spin things around. She's not a spin doctor, because truth is truth. You bury truth, it will rise again. You cover it, it will uncover itself. So as a people, as a country, at every level, let us speak truth. There are people who have fronted certificates, qualifications, degrees, papers, bonded papers with all kinds of things, only to be caught 10, 15 years late. Ladies and gentlemen, I think when I read my Bible, I see that King Solomon says everything is vanity. He tried everything, wealth, women, alcohol, all the vices. And he concluded in that book called Ecclesiastes, or the Preacher, that the best thing is to fear God and follow God. In other words, he said, I've been there and I've done it. So let's learn to speak truth. But you see, I was going to say, let's teach our children to speak truth. Then I'm wondering, well, if you don't speak truth, how can you teach your children to do what you don't do? They won't. They will appear to do it until you turn your back. And they'll do exactly what you do. Because you see, the authority of word, spirit, and gesture, and mannerisms, is a very strong authority. Very strong. So if, unfortunately, in our discussions, in our sitting rooms, in our cars, in our offices, people are just listening to how we want to undermine, pull people down, lie on people, innuendos and all kinds of things on social media and legacy media as well, truth always comes out. So let's be careful of truth. So I'm not ready. I don't think I'll be able to deliver this on Tuesday. It's better than promising somebody and come Tuesday, you can't deliver, your phone is off, and then 1 month later, two things happen. One, when you see the person, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, Balalma, Satan, people just lie. The other thing that is interesting is that though they did not finish that assignment or work, they use it to their advantage. Oh, go and check that wall in that house. We built it. Go and check that man's car. I fixed it. Go and check that woman's dress. I did it. That's not good. Because sooner than later, people get to talk and they connect the dots. I would not want to live in a country where I am known as somebody who doesn't speak the truth, as somebody who is greedy, dishonest, and corrupt. And yet I put on my religious garb and everybody says, oh, good morning, pastor, yeah, imam, bishop, father, mother, reverend, apostle. But when you go to say, surgery, we don't want to be like that. And so I pray a generation somehow will rise that will speak truth. And that's one of our commitments in ministry, to help talk. Sometimes there are challenges that beset people and you call for arbitration and the arbitration panel itself has taken sides. And there are people who are giving you their word, what you think is their word, but they themselves know that they're lying. They are not going to do what they say they will do. And I know somebody will say, Pastor, well, the truth is that, people are devious, so you have to hide, not tell them what you are doing, and, because they can chat you, they can, maybe. But, I have learned to put my life in the hands of God, in the hands of the Lord Jesus Christ with no fear. With no fear. And that's why I present Christ to you. I don't need juju on me. I don't need to second guess anything. I don't need naso. I don't need to wear anything, smear anything, rub things. So I don't need that. One thing I know is that the God who keeps me does not slumber or sleep. Speak the truth. A lot of you who are my age and maybe younger would have had parents who told you this phrase, speak the truth and shame the devil. Speak the truth and put the devil to shame. When you speak the truth, sometimes it's you feel ashamed and all that, but there's a release. This burden has finally left me. Let's raise up people like that. Another thing I want to talk about in terms of truth, and this goes to business people. And I see that especially in the delivery business people, the delivery business, and everybody who is in this, the CEOs and whoever, please take note. And if they are not online and you're hearing this, maybe crop it and send it to them. So, and this has happened multiple times. So let's say a man or a woman or a family or a business, they've ordered lunch for their staff. Or somebody just wants to order breakfast somewhere, lunch, and then they're ready to pay for delivery. And we have quite a number of delivery companies now in the country with motorbikes, maybe cars, I don't know. Now, you have paid, and the restaurant or hotel or the vendor has told you they're sending it by a delivery vehicle. I have taken notice, and this is not recent, for more than a year or two, that the delivery people always call you and stop the phone, what we call flashing. Now, you are a delivery service. You're delivering something to somebody. It's your responsibility to call them. You don't flash them for them to call you back and waste their credit while they're also paying you to deliver something. No, it's wrong. And the answer is always the same. My credit's finished. How can their credits finish when they're doing this kind of business? Then you're in the wrong business. You're in the wrong business. And so all them, I wish I could list the names of them, but all these companies that are doing delivery, you need to talk to your delivery people. Because for starters, for example, if somebody blips your number, you might not call it back because maybe it was the wrong number. Somebody was calling something, they forgot and they switch it off. And the person will be calling and the thing will not be delivered. No. So those people on motorbikes and cars or whatever, the story is always the same. My credit finished. Call me. Why is your credit finished? You are in the delivery business. Should I say what I think it is? It's a lie. We don't speak the truth. And for crying out loud, how much is a call to a client? At most, maybe $3 a minute. What is that? I'm riding a bike. There's fuel there. So please, I'm not the one to call names, but I hope we will start seeing names all over and companies being blacklisted as having that bad name. So the people who do that, either they are giving postpaid line, I don't know how it's going to work, but this does not just happen in the country. Delivery happens around the world. So a pizza boy doesn't say, call me back. My credits are finished. And the credits always finish when they were supposed to call. No, let's speak the truth. And I hope that will happen. The other thing I want to talk about is something that can get us into trouble. And this goes to the banks. Now, you go to the ATM and you want cash. And I won't even touch the thing about this out of service, financial institution, all the things we read, especially weekends. I'll put that aside for another day. You know what I want to talk about? These ATM machines that do not have receipts. And here you are, you want your money, so it says press for receipt. When you press it says no receipt. And because you want your money, you say you are going to do without the receipt. And a lot of times people have had scenarios where the money did not come and then there's trouble because there was no receipt. And to get the thing reversed takes a whole lot of drama. Is it so difficult to put receipts in those machines? Banks. From the $1 SIM, from the $2 SIM, from all the little charges you charge here and there, SMS, alert, and all, we can buy paper roll. Come on, guys. Let's be serious. Let's be honest. MDs, board chairs. How is it? There's no paper. Or the ATM machines are now green. Let's do what is right. Because it's even for people's accounting purposes. There are people who do business out of the country and they have an impress and say, okay, when you do that, do that. You do that and then there's no receipt. You say, well, look at your statement. No, there's a reason why the receipt is there. If restaurants have added machines that have receipts, why should the ATMs in this country not have receipts? I think that should stop. And wherever it must be addressed so that it stops. This is little, the British call it penny wise, pound foolish. We are trying to cut corners to get a lot. No. And yet we all have customer care departments and customer service and CSR and all that. Let's be honest. Let's be truthful. I'm going to try and stop here because I want to devote the next this and that to my last point. And that is, why is it that when somebody who has served this country maybe ends up abroad, gets a good job, and retires home, I have talked to a lot of them, oh, have you been to the office? I don't want to go there. I have had it so many times. And when you ask why, they think when I go there, I want their job. What? Is that true? Do we have that kind of fear? Why? What are we building? So that's going to be the last this and that. And I'll touch a little about customer care too. But that's the big one I want to talk about. This so-called fear that people who have retired come back. Oh, they want to take my job. Let me say this and preempt myself. If you are doing your job well, even if somebody takes it, you will have another job and a better job. So, maybe it all comes to ministry that our body what has to help this country with, that we can pick ourselves up. So let me stop here in part 2, and next week will be part 3 of this and that. And I pray that God will keep us and show us the way. Until I come in next week, this is Pastor Forbes. By the grace of God, may God help us and keep us. I'll see you for the final part. Have a good day.
Discourage.